All right, I went to the VA today. I got out at the end of 2012. It's when I left the Air Force, and I have not gone to do any of my VA anything, my benefits, the whatever the stuff they do. But this week, I've been waking up, and my neck and my shoulder have just been frozen, and I can't twist my neck certain directions, and it's just not good. It's taken me like an hour and a half. My hip, it's just, there's a whole list. It'd be like talking to your grandparents about how their day went, and I'm like, well, my this and that, and they got all this shit going on. So I was like, okay, I have to go do something. But I've been really hesitant to go to the VA. One, being a targeted individual since at least 2012, 2013, probably before. Anyway, I was on government lists to where when I go into government facilities, something pops up on their screen and I get treated differently than the other people. What I'm talking about has been proven beyond the shadow of a doubt. Hundreds of thousands of people talk about this and have. Anyway, so that's one of the reasons that I have refrained from going to the VA since I got out. That the other reasons are, like I'm from the West Coast originally. I'm in Charleston, West Virginia right now. But a lot of veterans that I talk to on the West Coast, Western states, like the older guys seem to have good experiences, and then the younger guys, it was like all just nightmare stories. Like they were just being pumped full of opiates and being put in front of counselors or therapists or whatever that, like, I don't want to say just were not qualified, but were, in my opinion, allegedly literally conditioning some of their patients because they were targeted, and then they were supposed to turn their knobs. I don't know. I'm not. It's just we've lost 100,000, 150 or 160,000 veterans to suicide since the Patriot Act was enacted. So, and then like before, if you called the veteran suicide hotline, it was like you were 10.5 times more likely to commit suicide within that year. So, there was a lot of stuff going on. Like veterans were literally targeted after watch listing guidance was updated in 2013. Anybody who had gone into combat comes back automatically on a Department of Homeland Security watch list. The infusion centers around the United States disseminate. Their mass data, their data is collected and goes to fusion centers, all that stuff, and then they go through this targeting thing. Anyway, I've been through all that shit, and I was worried that today when I went into the VA, I'm sorry this video is so long, but there's a positive ending here. VA, you'd probably be happy with me even after what I just said about, all the stuff that was going on there, which is just, not congressmen talking about this stuff in front of, committees, because it's not. Which, thank you to those guys, that former Navy SEAL that brought that up. Anyway, I had to go into this place that I had to get some x-rays. I have to get myself straightened out. I need to be able to do work, I went in there. First person I talked to was a cop. I pulled up and I asked him, I was like, hey man, I'm a veteran. I've never been here before. Do you know where I can park? I just need to go in. I have my dog. He was like, he just asked me a couple questions. He goes, bro, just pull into my parking spot right here. It said like police only. He's like, just pull into my parking spot right here, and then you can go in and talk to the lady at the information desk. He called it something else. It's an acronym. It's military. So, I was like, are you sure? He goes, it's my parking spot. Well, who's gonna? Yeah, no, it just caught me off guard that you're like, just park in my spot, because usually people are not cool with me. So that's how that started. And I was like, awesome, thank you. And I went and talked to the information desk lady, and she was like a personal, like a concierge. But like, when you go to a place that you've never been, and you ask a question and the person there acts like you should have gone through all their training courses and all that stuff, and then you're just like, fuck this. And that's a lot of, a lot of times in the military or military connected things, that's how we used to get treated when we go to places. It's like, God, why do you gotta be such a fucking dick? But that didn't happen at all at this place. And it kept happening. Like, I had to go from there. They got me, I didn't have any of my medical information input into their system at all. So they had to start fresh, got me all inputted into the system. I had my DD-214 and all that stuff with me, a bunch of my other paperwork, and we checked off a bunch of the boxes of places I've been, like Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, and I was a firefighter, so there's AFFF phone that I worked with, and there's a bunch of like hazardous kind of things that I actually qualified for, and that's cool, because I've heard that they just like fight you or try to like get you to not check any of those boxes. And they were like, she took the time to go through, like, let me read all of these documents and then make sure that we checked my records and make sure I had the, like the National Defense Medal, so I qualified for Operation whatever hazardous area. So that was cool. And then they sent me to X-ray. And then those people were awesome. Meanwhile, I shouldn't say that part. Oh, I already did. Yeah, I had my dog with me the whole time. So, and he's a service dog. But they were all like super cool with that. So that was awesome. And after X-rays, I had to go to the pharmacy, and I had to get like this gel stuff for my shoulder and my neck, and they were super friendly, even though I walked in there like right as they were all trying to leave. So the entire place is like in a Victorian old, I think it's an old hospital, I don't know, I didn't do any research on it, but it's like this huge old Victorian building that I would imagine was a hospital. It's named after a Marine. It's like beautifully manicured and well maintained, and the whole structure is like well maintained. If their flag's up, they have a memorial out. The inside is immaculate, and like, I literally have zero negative to say about that place. And then I as I was leaving, the dog had to take a shit. Actually, no, as I was waiting for my X-rays, he had to take shit. so I was like, stand by, y'all. I went out. A cop and some lady that worked there helped me find like a bag and showed me where to go so he can go shit. And then I went back in and got my stuff done. Actually, the lady ran inside. I just asked her where I could find one. She goes, I'll go get some. I'll go get one for you. Like, it almost felt like when I was in the Air Force and we had like a general show up to the base, they got that whole place, like, they were sweeping shade off the sidewalk, you know what I mean? To where it was like immaculate. And then everybody kissed that guy's ass. And I'm not saying these people were kissing my ass, it was just amazing customer service. Like how it should be. And nobody fucked with me while I was in there. One lady had a t-shirt on that was kind of suspect, of like trying to send me a little message, but coincidences do happen. But my overall review of that place it's in Huntington, West Virginia. I imagine, I've never been to like a Trump golf course or one of his resorts or anything like that, but you hear about stuff, how it's just like above everything else, best service, everything. That's how the VA was, in my opinion, here. My first experience. So there's still a bunch of steps I have to go through and other people I have to see and different stuff like that, but this is a 9-minute video. I don't know if it's gonna upload. Anyway, fucking awesome Huntington VA. Literally everyone there. Cool. I was pretty freaked out about going to do that today, man. You have no idea how tough it was for me to make that decision. So, thanks Thanks.